In life, it's easy to end up feeling used or taken advantage of by others. People can disregard our boundaries, make unreasonable demands, and pressure us into compromising ourselves. Stoicism offers profound wisdom on how to prevent this mistreatment and command the respect we deserve in relationships. In this video, we will explore 12 powerful Stoic strategies for upholding your worth, establishing clear limits, and stopping people from running over you. Applying these ancient principles develops key skills like assertive communication, detached indifference, conflict mastery, and time management. By implementing this Stoic advice, you can curb manipulation, stand your ground against disrespect, prune toxic connections, and ultimately train people how to treat you. Get ready to level up your confidence, self-respect, and boundaries. Number 1. Establish and enforce clear boundaries. Take some time for honest self-reflection to identify what truly matters to you, your core values, needs, and deal breakers when it comes to how people are permitted to treat you. Get very clear on the specific behaviors you are and are not willing to accept from others in all areas of your life. Make a list of any toxic patterns or boundary crossings that you've tolerated in the past, like being frequently interrupted, having your time wasted, being pressured into things, or being taken advantage of. Define exactly what your boundaries are when it comes to things like lending money or possessions, providing favors, giving your time and energy, dealing with criticism or anger, and being guilt-tripped or manipulated. Set concrete boundaries around how late someone can call or text you, how much information you share, being cancelled on, your physical space being invaded, and any other important limits. Get ultra clear on the boundaries you want to enforce so you can communicate them effectively and uphold them consistently. Knowing your exact limits and deal breakers is step 1 before you can actually start standing up for yourself. So take the time to get very clear on what behavior you will and will not accept from the important people in your life. Once you know where your lines are drawn, you can start enforcing them. Number 2, master the art of respectful refusal. The next important skill is learning to firmly and confidently say no to requests or behavior that overstep your boundaries. This may feel uncomfortable at first, but it gets easier with practice. When someone asks you for a favor, tries to manipulate you, or presses you to do something you don't want to, get comfortable turning them down directly. Simply say phrases like, "I'm not going to be able to help with that," or "No thank you, I have other priorities right now." You don't need to launch into lengthy excuses or over-explain yourself. That just gives them openings to try and negotiate or guilt you. A short, tactful refusal is perfectly sufficient. Also, resist the urge to use overly apologetic language like, "I'm so sorry, I feel really bad, but..." This undermines your resolve. Remember, you have nothing to feel guilty about in declining unreasonable requests or upholding your boundaries. If the person asks, "Why not?" or tries to change your mind, don't get sucked into a debate. Calmly restate your refusal or say you've already made up your mind. You can reiterate your boundaries if needed. Learning to say no without hesitation or apologies will prevent people from taking advantage of your kindness. The more you practice graceful but firm refusal, the less pushback you'll get over time, as people learn your boundaries are not flexible. Number 3, develop emotional intelligence. Unfortunately, some people will deliberately use underhanded tactics to take advantage of others. Learn to spot behaviors like guilt-tripping, flattery, appeasement, feigned helplessness, or aggressive threats. Pay attention to patterns over time, too. When someone tries to manipulate you, don't get visibly angry or upset. That gives them power over your emotions. Instead, remain composed and call out the behavior directly. Say something like, "I don't appreciate you trying to guilt me into this." Point out how their actions cross your boundaries and make it clear you won't be manipulated. Speak tactfully but directly. Avoid giving in just to smooth things over in the moment. Responding versus reacting is key. If you lose your cool, you've already lost. Stay cool-headed when standing up to manipulation, even if you feel irritated on the inside. The more experience you gain handling manipulative behavior calmly and confidently, the less power it will have over you. You'll come to see it as a pitiful attempt to compensate for personal insecurity. Developing emotional intelligence allows you to stand up for yourself without losing control or damaging relationships. You can assert your boundaries while retaining your dignity. Number 4, implement strategic time management. Block off time for essentials like eating well, exercising, relaxing, and getting enough sleep. Be guarded about this time and don't let others encroach. You need to replenish yourself first before giving your time to others. When scheduling time for family, friends, or work, be very selective. Ask yourself if each commitment aligns with your priorities and contributes value rather than just burning you out. Limit activities that drain you without purpose. Learn to say no to time-wasting activities where you won't really be missed. Set limits on things like meetings, phone calls from chatty people, impromptu visits from neighbors, or extensive favors for acquaintances. Politely decline and protect your personal time. When others request your time, stall and suggest meeting up over the next few weeks rather than immediately. This prevents your schedule getting hijacked on a whim. Vigilantly blocking off self-care time and limiting energy-draining activities prevents you from burning out. When you wisely manage your schedule, you won't be as vulnerable to having your time and energy exploited. Number 5, hone your intuition. Learn to trust your intuition if certain people or situations give you bad vibes. Our gut feelings evolved as warning signals to alert us of potential threats or mistreatment. Don't ignore that inner voice. Pay close attention to behaviors or patterns that make you feel uneasy, anxious, resentful, or exhausted after interacting with someone. Your body may be picking up on subtle red flags before your conscious mind does. Don't doubt or second-guess your gut reactions. Abusive or manipulative people often try to get you to mistrust your own instincts and perceptions. Have confidence in your ability to discern who is safe versus who is toxic. When your intuition tells you to avoid someone or extract yourself from a situation, don't talk yourself out of it or force yourself to give them more chances. Politely decline invitations, limit interactions, and break things off if necessary. Developing strong discernment skills and trusting your gut will help you detect and avoid potentially harmful people or situations. Don't suppress inner warnings. Act on them. Your safety and well-being should always be the top priority. Honing your intuition will give you an advantage in identifying and responding to mistreatment quickly before it goes too far. Stay vigilant and believe in your gut. Number 6, cultivate robust self-esteem. A huge part of enforcing boundaries is cultivating a strong sense of self-worth. When you know your value, you won't tolerate disrespect from others. Make a habit of positive self-talk and affirmations. Speak encouraging words to yourself daily like, "I deserve to be treated well," and "I command respect." Don't entertain negative self-criticism. Also, invest consistently in your growth. Make progress on personal goals that matter to you. Challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. Pursue fulfilling hobbies and creative projects. When you are actualizing your potential, approving of yourself, and engaging in uplifting self-dialogue, your confidence will grow. Healthy self-esteem comes from within. Approach new people and opportunities with an empowered, optimistic mindset. Don't act desperate for love, approval, or validation from others. You alone determine your worth. See yourself as fully deserving of respect. Expect it unconditionally from those who want access to your time and energy. Remove anyone treating you poorly. Robust self-confidence leaves no room for clinging to toxic relationships or allowing mistreatment. You know you deserve better and will accept nothing less. Keep building up your sense of self-esteem and self-efficacy. This will make upholding boundaries feel natural and non-negotiable. Number 7. Embrace assertiveness. The cornerstone of commanding respect from others is asserting yourself confidently. Avoid passive or aggressive communication styles. Instead, embrace direct, tactful assertiveness. Practice clearly expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs in an honest yet thoughtful manner. Don't hint. State your boundaries outright using I language. For example, I feel frustrated when you cancel our plans last minute, or I need you to ask my permission before borrowing my stuff. Speak your truth unapologetically. Look people in the eyes when addressing issues. Use a calm, firm tone that says you mean business. Don't raise your voice or get emotional. Stay poised while standing your ground. Back up talk with action. Follow through on upholding your boundaries. Don't make empty threats or warnings. Be prepared to enforce them. Respond immediately to disrespect. Don't wait to address problems and let resentment build. Respectfully call out issues as they happen. Being assertive shows people you won't be taken for granted. You can be direct without being aggressive. It will likely feel uncomfortable at first, but the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Number 8. Curate your social circle. Take time to evaluate all of your relationships and actively nurture the positive while phasing out the negative. Make a list of the people closest to you and how they generally make you feel after spending time together. Do you usually feel energized and uplifted or drained and disrespected? Gradually decrease contact with friends or family members who routinely cross boundaries, take advantage of your kindness, fail to reciprocate, or leave you feeling bad about yourself. Limit interactions and stop engaging if toxic patterns continue. While it can be difficult to cut ties, sometimes removing certain people from your life entirely is necessary for your well-being. Don't feel guilty about letting go of unhealthy relationships that are more harmful than beneficial. Instead, identify the people who treat you with genuine caring, respect your time and values, and want the best for you. Make concerted efforts to strengthen trust and intimacy in these relationships. Prioritize spending more quality time bonding with your most supportive, like-minded friends. Organize video calls to catch up, send them encouragement, reminisce over fun memories, and make future plans together. When you need guidance or a boost of confidence, look to your positive network for reassurance and advice rather than those who undermine you. Rely on and open up to those who really have your back. Beyond your existing network, seek out new connections through hobbies, classes, conferences, professional associations, volunteer work, community events, etc. Meet new people who share your interests and values. When getting to know new acquaintances, keep your radar on for red flags that indicate they may not respect boundaries or support your growth. Listen to your intuition. Don't feel pressured to give time and energy to those who leave you with a bad gut feeling. Number 9. Master conflict resolution. Disagreements and conflict are inevitable in relationships. Learn to address them directly while retaining self-respect and upholding your boundaries. When a conflict arises, stay composed. Don't get defensive or retaliate. Breathe deep and give yourself time to process before responding. Center yourself in your values. Use "I feel" statements to tactfully communicate your perspective. Allow others to share theirs too. Seek first to understand, rather than convince. Look for win-win solutions or compromises that honor both sides' rights and needs. How can you both feel respected in the outcome? Get creative. If you must take a firm stance on something, explain your reasoning clearly but empathetically. Say you want to find an agreement but can't compromise certain core values. Recognize when to walk away. If things get heated or disrespectful, politely end the interaction and try again later when calm. Some conflicts can't be resolved overnight. With practice addressing disagreements maturely, you'll grow trust and intimacy in your relationships. Stay grounded in your self-worth and stand firm in defending your boundaries. Approach conflict as an opportunity for growth, not a threat. Mastering resolution skills helps ensure your needs are heard while respecting others too. Number 10. Practice self-advocacy. Accept that some people may get upset, defensive, or accuse you of being selfish when you start saying no, enforcing boundaries, or addressing poor treatment. Don't buy into these tactics. Stay strong. You aren't harming anyone by protecting your time and energy. You're modeling self-respect and demonstrating the level of treatment you expect from others. This invites reciprocated care and consideration. Stay centered in believing you deserve to be valued and not taken for granted. Expect others to show up with mutual respect, honesty, and accountability. Don't settle for less. Practice tackling guilty thoughts and self-talk that undermine your right to fair treatment. Remind yourself that advocating for your needs creates healthier relationships for everyone. Make self-care a regular habit so you don't get depleted. When your cup is full, you won't cling to harmful people or situations out of scarcity. You'll have standards. Keep actively affirming your worthiness of love and respect from yourself and others. You teaching people how you expect to be treated is an act of love. Number 11. Develop a strong sense of self-awareness. Make a consistent habit of self-reflection to gain clarity on your core values, goals, and boundaries. Knowing your authentic self is key to making decisions aligned with your fulfillment. Set aside time regularly for journaling, meditation, or other introspective practices. Ask yourself deep questions about your priorities, purpose, deal breakers, and vision for your relationships and lifestyle. Explore your thoughts and feelings honestly, without judgment. The more familiar you become with your inner world, the easier it is to recognize when you're being swayed from your truth. Check in on your emotions and energy levels after spending time with certain people. Do they uplift or drain you? Take note of who brings out your best self. Be aware of when you're stretching your boundaries or compromising your values to please or accommodate others. Realign with your authentic needs. Strong self-knowledge helps you recognize manipulation tactics designed to make you doubt yourself and give in. You'll know clearly when a request conflicts with your well-being. Keep refining your understanding of your principles and limits over time. Refer back to your reflections whenever you have a difficult decision. Get centered in your authentic self. Developing this inner clarity and self-awareness will strengthen your resolve. You'll know yourself deeply enough to make choices aligned with your growth and enforce boundaries against anything misaligned. Number 12. Master the art of reciprocity. Aim to cultivate reciprocal relationships where there is a healthy, balanced flow of giving and receiving between you and others. Take stock of whether your connections are drained by one-sided dynamics. Pay attention to who genuinely reciprocates when you extend yourself for them versus those who only take without giving back. Be wary of repeatedly giving time, money, or energy to people who don't match your effort. On the other hand, Also notice when you could be more vulnerable and accepting of support. Are there times you reject help or isolate yourself when connecting authentically could nourish you? Seek to maintain an equilibrium where you feel cared for and supported, while also extending yourself to support others. Express your needs and allow others to compassionately meet them. If you seem to give far more than you receive in a relationship, have an honest dialogue about restoring balance. If they are unwilling to meet you halfway, limiting contact may be healthiest for you. Make sure to express gratitude when people do support you, so they feel appreciated and reciprocate. Model the give-and-take dynamic you wish to see. Mastering reciprocity means you give freely from fullness rather than depletion, while also receiving the care you need. You offer your gifts and also know when to ask for support. This invites mutual enrichment. If you gained some value from this video, please like and subscribe to support me in making more content on building confidence and boundaries. Also, let me know in the comments which tip resonated most with you, or how you plan to start enforcing your limits more fairly moving forward. Your insights could help others watching this later on their journeys. Remember, the wisdom of Stoicism reminds us that while we cannot control other people's actions, we have full control over how we respond. So be assertive yet tactful, know your worth, uphold your boundaries, and value your time. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Keep working on becoming the healthiest, most empowered version of yourself. You deserve to be treated with respect. Now go gently but confidently command it. Until next time, may you all find peace and serenity in the Stoic ways.